guys, it's Michelle with Authentically Christian, and today I really just want to talk about authenticity as it relates to a few things. One of the things that I was really reflecting on is our ability to be authentic in front of one another. I think that it's really challenging for a lot of people to feel like they can be transparent and authentic because we feel so judged. We internalize so much what's going on around us and how people perceive us and what might be going on in their heads. And I really think that is a huge attack the enemy has on us and in our minds that we really need to come together and overcome, because I don't really think that is something we can really overcome alone. I mean, I think that we can overcome it in Christ, but I think it's so much easier for us to be able to overcome it with one another. And so what I mean by that is, if you are operating in a group of friends and you become aware that what you're about to say or what you want to say is difficult for you to communicate because you're worried about how other people will perceive you, you should sit down with those people and be that authentic and say, there are certain things that I really want to express to you guys, but I'm concerned that I'll be perceived in this way. This is something that I'm really wrestling with in my spirit, in my flesh, and I really need your support because this is a goal for me to start to be as authentic as I possibly can. And I really believe that's Christ's heart for us, that he calls us to a level of authenticity with ourselves and with one another, that all of the words that we speak are in alignment with what's going on inside of us. And when there's a disconnect, we're not being real, we're not being authentic, and I think that we're falling short in that sense, that we're operating in a place of slavery, that we have chains on us because we care more about how other people perceive us from our own experiences that may have traumatized us or whatever, and our own fears, then we are concerned in walking in the liberation that Christ wants for us. And I can personally say that this is something that I have genuinely struggled with most of my life. And it stemmed from early childhood. And I was actually meeting with my mentor today, and it was just something that I was talking to her about in some of the trials that I have gone through over the last 2 years and how challenging those were, but how I'm so glad that it's over, but I'm so thankful for the way that I have grown and become liberated and free from what other people thought of me. I mean, I literally had to lose my reputation and my pride and just everything that I held on to. I was so concerned about what other people thought about me in order to be liberated from that. And now I'm on the other end of that spectrum, not 100% liberated. I think this will be a battle for me probably most of my life, but more liberated than I have been for my whole life. And so right now I'm kind of walking in that newfound freedom that Christ has given me, which is also why I'm sharing these videos. Maybe like a year ago I'd be super paranoid about what people thought, how do I look, all these things, and now it doesn't even matter. Like, my heart in talking through these videos is because I share so much on Facebook via text that I just thought it might be easier to communicate this via video, and I can share it in different ways as well. But it's such a cool gift to be able to be on here and be authentic, and that's what I want to encourage everyone to do as well, to really be able to examine themselves in the areas in their lives and say, okay, where am I struggling in my internal dialogue and how I relate to people? Where do I need help? Where do I need support? And then also, what can I put in place to have that support? Who can I call on? Who can I communicate this to help walk in accountability with me so that I can grow in this way? Because I think this is something a lot of people struggle in. Not everyone, but a lot of people. We really care what other people think about us. And because we care so much about what other people think about us, we really limit God speaking into our lives, because, and this is just my opinion, but I think when we when we care so much about what other people speak to us, that Christ gives us a word, when we don't speak that out, we're limiting that. Like, Christ is giving us a conviction to go speak something, and now we can't speak it because we're so worried on, maybe that person will say no, maybe that person will reject me, maybe that person will think I'm absolutely crazy. But the cool thing is when you walk in that liberation that Christ has given you, it does not matter how that person perceives you. What matters is that you're walking in obedience to Christ, and that is the only thing that matters, is that Christ is being glorified in every aspect of your life. And so as we are engaging in prayer on our day-to-day basis, and we cry out to God, God, I want to hear from you more, I want you to talk to me, and then he talks to us, but then we don't go out and speak those convictions, we're limiting ourselves. God's answering our prayers, and then we're putting a stop to it because we're bound up. We're bound up in the world of how we're being perceived, and we can break free from that, but it's really hard to do it on your own. And so I really want to encourage everyone to go out to a few close friends and say, look, this is something that's really, really important to me. I really want to work on this. I really want to practice being 100% authentic with you guys, and I want you to be honest in how you're perceiving me, because one of the things that you will start to grow in is that as you are being authentic and as rejections come, your security and your trust is in Jesus Christ, that it's not going to hit you as hard. You become more bounded in your true identity, that the words of man don't really impact you. And so it's really an exciting thing. And then the other thing I want to say is, in that newfound freedom, pride can be very quick to rise back up. I would say that pride is probably the worst enemy of mankind. And so I would pray every single day. I pray this every day, and I think everyone should pray this every day, is that God keeps us humble. We really, really need to be humble, approach each other empathetically and sensitively to each other's needs, even if we're in disagreement. The goal should always be to come to a place of understanding, not beating a conversation or winning a conversation or whatever. It should always be to grow with one another, grow in understanding. And so we're supposed to help one another in that. So just also want to encourage you guys to pray that God keeps you humble and keeps pride out of the picture. So anyway, a little bit of encouragement for you guys today. I hope this blesses you. Please leave your comments or discussion, anything you guys want. All right, love you guys.